All right, the next school we want to look at is Stoicism, and an example of Stoicism, an important example would be Zeno. And Stoicism, again, both these words, Epicureanism, Stoicism, they have resonances in our popular culture. And, the notion of being stoic means, you're sort of like a stone statue and nothing affects you. And that certainly does have its roots in historical Stoicism. But, see some of the particulars of Stoicism. For the Stoics, there is a God, and God's providence, or what they would have called nature, settles all of destiny. A very strong sense of destiny or providence. True virtue does not consist in striving towards some ideal or trying to develop habits or practices that move you toward an ideal. Virtue consists in accepting providence. Virtue is essentially acceptance. This relates to this concept of apatheia. Now, if you recognize that word, it's apathetic, right? Our word apathetic today, we tend to think, I just don't care. And we view that very negatively, and usually rightfully so. But the sense that it has here is not sort of an irresponsible not caring. The sense that it has for Stoicism is that whatever comes, I am calm. Whatever comes, I'm at peace. Whatever comes, I can accept it. If it's good, I accept it. I don't get overly excited. If it's bad, I accept it. I don't get overly distressed. That's the sense of apatheia. Stoicism also emphasized the notion of universal reason and a natural law. And this is closely tied to their thoughts about providence. So providence settles all of destiny, and it settles it in accordance with settled laws that are a fundamental part of reality. And since these things are laws, they can't be broken, they can't be derogated from, they determine what will happen. Now, again, as you can see, Christian thought is going to also deal with all of these ideas and continues to deal with all of these ideas. And they're all very important in the tradition of Christian theological ethics. We do believe, Christian theology historically does believe in a concept of God's providence. How we relate that to, destiny or the future or what will happen or people's choices and so on, we wrestle with. Some versions of Christian thought are seemingly just as fatalistic as Stoicism. Some aren't. Again, virtue in quiet acceptance of providence. We do have certainly concepts of accepting suffering, even taking joy in suffering, or at least rejoicing in the midst of suffering. And that's certainly a scriptural theme that we'll look at. The ideas of universal reason and natural law, as we mentioned last class, are important in many strands of Christian theological ethics. And even this idea of apatheia is extremely important in the history of Christian spirituality and therefore of Christian ethics. In fact, this term apatheia was widely used by the Greek fathers. And again, the sense here wasn't that, I just don't care. The sense was that whatever comes, I can receive it peacefully. And the state I actually want to get to is ultimately one of restful, peaceful trust in God. And I think even today we would certainly affirm the way I just phrased it as a virtue. Now, how far that goes, when action is required, when it's right for us to have a righteous anger or unsettled, whatever, we have to think about all those things, but these are important themes in the history.